Pearl is the newest horror film to hit theaters and is part of the newest horror franchise. Before I get into my thoughts on this film, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, give the video a like, comment below, do you like this film better than X? And also turn the notification bell so you never miss any review that I post and I upload weekly. And now without further ado, let's talk about this new horror film. Pearl is the story of how she became the vicious killer seen in X. The film stars David Corenswet, Mia Goth, Emma Jenkins-Purro, Alistair Sewell, Matthew Sunderland, and Tandy Wright. So my expectations of going into Pearl, I really wasn't that big of a fan of X. I really felt that it was kind of a vanilla kind of slasher film, but I think the reason why that film was so popular is really there hasn't been any slasher films that were really in theaters as of late other than Scream. I think a lot of people wanted to flock and check that out, and I also think the help of Everything Everywhere All at Once really kind of got A24 getting to the mainstream crowd a little bit. So I can understand why this franchise is so popular, but going into this film, I did not watch a trailer at all. I really wanted to go into it fresh. I knew it was a prequel, and that's really all I knew. The film starts in 1918. It's during the Spanish flu. Pearl, she lives on a farm, and her father has an undisclosed illness. He is confined to a wheelchair. You have her mother, who is very controlling, and she's trying to preserve all the resources because they don't really have a lot of money. I really do like the style of this film. I really feel like it really creates its own style. It's very much like an old Hollywood Wizard of Oz, as you've probably seen a lot of comparisons to Wizard of Oz, and it really does have that feeling here with the whole Technicolor and just the way that they have the titles, and even during the credits when they have the different writing that they have, it really does make the film feel very unique and have a different style from what we're used to seeing with normal films. I like that this film had a lot more tension than X. I really thought that a lot of scenes in here, there is some foreshadowing as to what is going to happen, but there are some close calls and some moments in this film where you just kind of are on the edge of your seat as to what is going to happen. I really do enjoy watching Pearl and her mannerisms and how she conducts herself. You can really spot the difference between her as Pearl versus Maxine in X. The transitioning and the colors and the overall style of the film, it's completely different than X, and the colors are very bright. Now, Pearl in this film, she still has those sexual frustrations. There is this one particular scene where she has sex with a scarecrow, and no, this is not the scarecrow from Wizard of Oz wishing that he only had a brain. You can really tell that Pearl, she really is alone. Her really only friend in this film is her sister-in-law, and her sister-in-law actually tells her that there's a dance competition coming up where she can actually audition, and she gets really excited for that because she really wants a big star. And you can really see the comparison of Pearl versus Maxine being a big star. You can see where someone is trying to actually break out versus someone like in X that is already trying to be the next big thing as well. And speaking of Pearl wanting to be an actual star, you can really see that Pearl, when she's on this farm, she really has kind of a crappy life if you think about it. She has a mom that's really controlling and questions her every move. She can't even really go out of the town and actually do anything. And also her dad is really sick, so she really doesn't have anybody to talk to or no friends. So you can really sympathize with her character and really see why she would go AWOL and really just be a really kind of unique kind of character, but at the same time being a character that is really kind of sinister in what she does in this film. I felt that this film, it does have a little bit of predictability because you know how she is in X, but throughout the film, there is a lot of foreshadowing, like I said. So there are parts in this film where something is about to happen. You're like, yep, if it's not going to happen now, it's definitely going to happen later in the film. But this is one of those films that you're watching a character study really unfold. And you don't really have a lot of questions, but you're just watching her life unfold before your eyes. Towards the end of this film, one of the ending shots in this film, I was thinking to myself, yep, that's A24 for you right there. And I can see if nobody watched an A24 film before, they would just be like, yeah, I don't know about that. But I really did like the ending shot and what really happened and just how sinister Pearl really is in this film. I think she pulls this character off really well, and I thought that her character, it was very believable. Although I will say there are a few negatives that I have to say about this film. The film is a little bit slower. It's a lot of building up. You really do see certain things coming. There isn't a lot of blood and gore in here. There isn't a ton of kills. It's not really a big slasher film, but it has a drama and psychological value to it. Now, I think the difference of me me really liking this film a lot more than X is I think that X, it really kind of capitalized on that 1970s vibe with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I felt that it really didn't need to have a lot of style because a lot of people really don't see that whole slasher 1970s vibe anymore. So having that style, I think it came a little bit easier for them to really have this whole slasher flick. But I felt that that film was a little bit more slower build up than this film was, and I thought the runtime for this film was perfect. And really the last negative that I had about this film is the actual monologue. It's really long, but I do really understand at the same time why it was actually necessary to actually get all this stuff off her chest at that point in time of the film. Now, I won't say anything more about that to avoid spoilers, but that's really my thoughts for this film. I'm gonna give a score of this film a 3.5 out of 5. It's a slow burn film. It's definitely a character study film. It's shot well. It has really bright colors. It definitely looks right for that time period. And I really did enjoy learning a little bit more about Pearl. And it's, like I said, a film that doesn't have a lot of questions, but you're just watching everything unfold as you go. But thank you guys for watching this review, and I'll see you guys on my next one.